Does it affect the fact though?
I gotta go, man.
The fact that people
Seriously.
the fact that people do abuse this drug, does that concern you at all?
I do everything in my power to keep everything on the up and up.
All right.
So everybody else does with their business, I do with mine.
Johnny Hawkins is the owner of Johnny's E-Cigs in Bessemer City. His store is now under the microscope. This baggie contains what some call synthetic marijuana. If you smoke it, it'll get you high, but it can seriously hurt you.
My name's David Santendry. I'm a reporter with the Fox News station in Charlotte.
Yeah, we ain't got no comment. You have a good day, sir.
Fox 46 Charlotte is taking action.
Please leave your store.
You're listening to Hawkins kick Fox 46 Charlotte out of his store. They sell Mary Jane potpourri and a number of other substances. In fact, before I went in with my camera, I went in and for $20 purchased a baggie myself. It's completely legal to buy it and sell it because it's marketed as incense with a label reading, "Not meant for human consumption." But 43-year-old Richie Sanborn was arrested on Tuesday for smoking this. In fact, Sanborn was found passed out behind the wheel of his truck just minutes from the store with a blunt filled with stuff just like this. Highway Patrol says he bought it from Johnny's E-Cigs. After Hawkins kicked me out of his store, he decided to speak with me.
But if we find out anybody's misusing the product, we do not sell to them whatsoever.
But officials say plenty of people coming here are abusing the drug. Highway Patrol says people like Sanborn purchase these synthetic drugs thinking they're a safer way to catch a buzz, but in reality, it's not safe at all. Adding, Sanborn admits to being a recovering heroin addict, telling police this synthetic stuff is hooking him worse than anything.
Some people are saying that you guys know that people misuse this.
Some people say a lot of things. I mean, you know, some people say that the government's got a cure for cancer and won't let it out.
A synthetic marijuana addict insists on smoking in front of Fox 46 Charlotte cameras.
Yeah, he says people need to see how evil this drug is. And David Santendry continues his investigation tonight. David?
Yeah, Brian, that's right. Synthetic marijuana is illegal to smoke, but it's legal to sell. Over the past week, I've been in several shops that sell it. I was even able to buy some myself. So I started looking into the story about a week ago when a local man was found passed out behind the wheel of his truck from smoking the drug. I asked him for an interview, and he agreed under one condition, that I'd let him smoke it on camera.
That stuff looks like weed. It don't smell like weed. And it sure hell don't give you the effects of weed. If I don't got this by 12 o'clock every day, I either whip my own beat my wife, kill animals. It don't make no difference what I do.
Richie Sanborn is an addict. The 43-year-old says a drug you can buy legally is ruining his life. Synthetic marijuana.
I took a fire rake 4 weeks ago and beat myself with a fire rake to keep myself from going to Johnny's to get any more of this.
The Johnny's he's referring to, Johnny's E-Cigs in Bessemer City. Highway Patrol says Sanborn bought the drug here in early September and was found passed out behind the wheel of his truck at an intersection nearby while smoking it. Fox 46 Charlotte reached out to Sanborn, wanting to hear his story. He agreed to an interview, saying he wanted to smoke this drug right in front of us to show viewers just how bad it is. Within minutes, Sanborn is slurring his words.
He hit one sucker. He said, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. This dude thought he was on fire, man. What the on that dude?
Look at how lively Sanborn is before smoking the drug.
Get it off the streets, people. If you're smoking this I've lost 44 pounds.
But afterwards, a different story. He sways back and forth, barely able to get into his truck, while saying synthetic marijuana is far, far worse than the real stuff.
They got to smoke. They better smoke marijuana.
Well, if it's so bad, how is it legal? Here's the thing. It's marketed as potpourri, incense, with a warning that reads, "Not meant for human consumption." It's legal to buy and sell. It's only illegal to smoke. The irony, it's mostly sold in smoke shops, just like Johnny's, which is why many say these shops know exactly what they are doing. Fox 46 Charlotte confronted the owner of Johnny's, Johnny Hawkins.
Does it affect the fact, though,
I gotta go,
the
man.
fact that people
Seriously.
the fact that people do abuse this drug, does that
I
concern
do
you at
everything
all?
in my power to keep everything on the up and up.
But it's not just Johnny's. Just down the street in Gastonia, Fox 46 Charlotte received a tip Smokers Etc. is selling it, but only to customers who ask specifically for it. As we're told, they keep it in the back. I went into this shop to ask if they do, in fact, sell one of the popular brands, Brain Freeze.
We did, but we don't any right now.
You did, but you don't know.
Yeah. But
Did
in a
you
second-
30 minutes ago?
Huh?
Did you 30 minutes ago or an hour ago sell it?
When?
So earlier today?
Today, yeah.
You did sell Brain Freeze today.
But I'm not gonna interview or anything right now.
It's easy to get your hands on. In fact, I went into Johnny's e-cigs and for $20 bought a bag myself. So easy to get,
4
and as
pounds, and now I got
Sanborn says,
DWI
so
going
easy to
again.
get addicted to.
Trust and believe me, I'm gonna go get it again tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, every day they got it, I'm gonna go get it. Because I don't know how to act without it.
A very powerful and disturbing story. And David, one of the interesting things is this guy just lit up right in front of you.
I mean, right in front of me, no questions asked. In fact, he did not want to do the interview unless I agreed to allowing him to smoke on camera. But I want to hammer down, you know, this guy's not proud of his addiction. He's not proud of what he's doing. He really wanted people to see how bad the drug was, so, you know, may change some people's minds.
Yeah, it's very hard to watch. And a big question is who is doing this drug? How old are they? You know, what demographic?
Yeah, I talked to Highway Patrol, talked to police officers, talked to drug counselors, really any demographic, any age group. I mean, you got teenagers smoking it, you got people in their 60s, 70 years old smoking this drug.
But the difference is, I mean, how real is it compared to the real marijuana?
Well, I think a lot of people think they're similar just because, you know, leafy greens, but in fact, I'm told it's nothing like marijuana. I'm told that from several officials, told that from drug counselors. One drug counselor told me, in fact, it's more like LSD at the beginning, you know, strong, hallucinogenic, and then when you come down, it's almost a downer like heroin.
Well, you see the transformation on this guy,
You see the
too.
transformation
Yeah.
on him. And tomorrow night, Fox 46 News at 10, we're going to have part 2 of this story. I met with a handful of addiction specialists, drug counselors, showed them this video. We get their reaction on and exactly what they want to see moving forward.
All right, thank you so much, David.
In and out.
43-year-old Richie Sanborn is lighting up to prove a point. He's addicted to synthetic marijuana and says it's ruining his life. Troopers found him passed out behind the wheel at an intersection while in the middle of smoking this drug. Fox 46 Charlotte asked him for an interview. He agreed, as long as we show him under the influence as a warning to viewers. Here he is before, full of energy.
Get it off the streets, people. If you're smoking this, I've lost 44 pounds.
And here, just minutes after smoking, it's hard to understand him.
Yeah, 1 second. He's saying I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Minutes later, he's barely able to climb into his truck.
The effects have just come over him very rapidly.
I took this footage to a group of drug experts at the Blanchard Institute. Just seconds after lighting up, he throws the joint across the parking lot and switches to a cigarette.
He's so angry at that substance that he throws it away.
Only to pick it right back up and continue smoking.
Trust and believe me, I'm gonna go get it again tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, every day they got it, I'm gonna go get it. Because I don't know how to act without it.
Synthetic marijuana is legal to buy and sell since it's marketed as potpourri with a label reading, "Not meant for human consumption." It's only illegal when you smoke it. The thing is, it's often sold at smoke shops. Fox 46 Charlotte discovered 2 of these shops locally.
There's a tremendous amount of hypocrisy.
Drug expert Robert Martin says it's not just adults getting hooked to brands of synthetic marijuana such as Brain Freeze. Plenty of kids are also buying it.
This drug, Brain Freeze, it comes in grape flavor. It comes in juicy fruit flavor.
Sanborn didn't want Fox 46 Charlotte to blur his face during this story. He wants his mistake shown to the public in hopes it helps someone. Well, on Wednesday, you'll see how Fox 46 Charlotte is getting results
You're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know?
by helping him and his family.
I've been in the dirt, I've sweated, I've grimed, I've done every grimy thing in the world to get drugs.
Why is this man, 43-year-old Richie Sanborn, crying with his family? Well, it's all because he's an addict.
Get it off the streets, people, if you're smoking this shit.
This story begins in a Gastonia parking lot back in September. Sanborn is talking about synthetic marijuana. This stuff is legal to buy and sell because it's marketed as potpourri with a warning, not meant for human consumption. It's only illegal when you smoke it. The irony, it's mostly sold in smoke shops, including Johnny's E-Cigs in Bessemer City. What initially brought Fox 46 Charlotte to Sanborn, he's facing charges for being passed out behind the wheel of his truck at an intersection down the street from Johnny's with a blunt of this stuff still lit.
I took a fire rake 4 weeks ago and beat myself with a fire rake to keep myself from going to Johnny's to get any more of this.
It's so easy to buy. For $20, I went in and bought a bag myself. So Fox 46 Charlotte is asking the owner why they're selling something that's illegal to smoke in their smoke shop.
I gotta go, man.
The fact that people
Seriously.
the fact that people do abuse this drug, does that
I
concern
do
you at
everything
all?
in my power to keep everything on the up and up, so everybody else does with their business. I do with mine.
Which brings us back to Sanborn.
Trust and believe me, I'm gonna go get it again tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, every day got it, I'm gonna go get it. Because I don't know how to act without it.
He's agreeing to interview on the dangers of synthetic marijuana. He says it's addictive, completely mind-altering, and ruining his life. So much, he lights up in front of the camera to show viewers just how bad it is. Within minutes, Sanborn is slurring his words.
He hit one sucker on. He said, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. This dude thought he was on fire, man.
Shortly after, he sways back and forth, barely able to get into his truck, while saying synthetic marijuana is far worse than real marijuana.
They got to smoke. They better smoke marijuana.
The effects have just come over him very rapidly.
Fox 46 Charlotte is taking this footage to a group of drug experts at the Blanchard Institute. They say synthetic marijuana is a growing problem.
So, Richie, what I saw was a man crying out for help.
Ward Blanchard, who runs the institute, says what he sees from Sanborn is selflessness.
That stuff looks like weed. It don't smell like weed. And it sure hell don't give you the effects of weed.
Coming out to the public, doing something illegal on television in an attempt to keep others away from a drug he can't seem to put down.
Like I told you when I did the interview, I wasn't going my face blurred. I was wanting the world to know that this is me and this is what it does to you and this is what it does to your family.
Now we're getting results. Blanchard is setting him up with what he calls the best center in the country for detox and rehab, Lakeview Health in Jacksonville, Florida. The 9-week program is valued around $60,000, and for Sanborn, Lakeview is not charging a dime.
You were saying, when are we ready? You know, can I pack my clothes? I'm ready to do this now.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready to start this right now. You know, get sober with. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know.
It's not always easy to get people to share their stories on television, especially when it's centered around a crime. But in this case, Sanborn is an open book.
You're welcome.
And I asked you that first day when I talked to you before we were at the interview. I said, "Don't throw me under the bus." And you told me you didn't throw me under the bus. You put me on the bus, man. Thank you.
A book he hopes others will stop to read.
Thank y'all. Thank WJZY, Channel 46. Hey, thank the state trooper who got me for the DWI. Wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. He looks at me, wakes up, and goes, "Oh, crap."
He was found passed out behind the wheel. Tonight, his story comes full circle as we conclude our story of the addict who wanted to help others.
He's a recovering drug addict that's now thanking the state trooper who charged him with a DWI.
And tonight, David Santendry walks us through the final chapter to show us the new face of a man who did the unthinkable on television and then got results. David?
Brian and Kayla, behind me, this is Richie Sanborn. His wife sent me this photo. It's of him passed out while standing up in the middle of their home, and it's all because of synthetic marijuana.
You'll find something better. Everything happens for a reason.
That's what
God has his ways.
That's what my wife told me. She said, God done this to you. She said, that state trooper just appointed the man at the hour, you know.
This isn't the first time 44-year-old Richie Sanborn is meeting with State Trooper C.W. Farrell.
You know, I've stopped people before and they have 3 or 4 packs of it.
The first time, he was in handcuffs, passed out behind the wheel of his truck while in the middle of smoking synthetic marijuana. He was served a DWI.
Truck sitting there running. He's sitting there with a blunt in his hand, laid over, passed out. I reached in, cut the truck off, took the key, stick it in my pocket, of course, so he can't drive off. He looks at me, wakes up, and goes, "Oh, crap."
Welcome to Johnny's E-Cigs. This is where Sanborn says he bought synthetic marijuana. It's completely legal to buy and sell, as it's marketed as potpourri.
And it says on the package, not for human consumption.
It's only illegal when you smoke it. Sanborn says these stores aren't ignorant. They know exactly what people are doing when they buy a bag.
All they care about is that money coming over, hand over fist. Money, money, money. That's all they care about.
Initially, Fox 46 Charlotte confronted the owner of Johnny's.
The fact, though, the fact that people the fact that people do abuse this drug, does that concern you at all?
I do everything in my power to keep everything on the up and up, so everybody else does with their business. I do with mine.
But Johnny wasn't too concerned with his potpourri ruining lives.
Trust and believe me, I'm gonna go get it again tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, every day they it, I'm gonna go get it. Because I don't know how to act without it.
After Sanborn's arrest, he agreed to interview with Fox 46 Charlotte, saying the drug was ruining his life, and he wanted people to know how bad it is. So much. He got high on camera, wanting to show the before and after. It wasn't pretty. He swayed back and forth, barely able to get into his truck, telling Fox 46 Charlotte he was at the end of his rope.
Cliff.
So, Richie, what I saw was a man crying out for help.
It wasn't long after Ward Blanchard, a local addiction expert, came into the mix. His team saw the story and wanted to help the addict who wanted to help others. They teamed up with Lakeview Health in Jacksonville, Florida, sending Sanborn to rehab for 6 weeks. Now, the man who couldn't put this synthetic drug down to save his life,
It don't smell like weed, and it sure hell don't give you the effects of weed.
is clean.
I was just glad for the opportunity and glad somebody finally invested a little something in me. I'm going to make the best of it.
He gained over 30 pounds in 6 weeks. You can see it in his face.
Well, I seen a sick man. I seen a person that was dying.
He says withdrawals were a nightmare.
Uncontrollable muscle spasms, headaches like you wouldn't believe, diarrhea, the pukes. I thought it was dying.
But nothing compared to the nightmare that was his everyday battle with addiction.
It'll take your life. It'll have you violent. It'll make you have thoughts that you've never had before. Sometimes it turns you into something that you're not.
Shops like Johnny's are still legally selling this drug that's illegal to smoke. It's ironic for a smoke shop.
I haven't got a lab report back yet, but what is in it, I have no clue. It is just a mixture of some bad stuff.
But here Sanborn is with the trooper who saw him in his darkest hour. While he got help, the question is, did getting high on camera help anyone else? Well, take a listen.
You'll be surprised at how many people's lives you change.
Well, see, I had a woman write me down there, and she said her son was real bad on it and bath salts. And then when he seen how I acted on TV, he asked his mama, "Do I act like that?" She said 5 times worse, and he quit doing everything.
And it's a story like that which has these men excited to meet under a different set of circumstances.
Hey, Richie, good luck to you.
Hey, good luck to you, man. Thank you. You be careful out there, too.
I will.
And right now, Sanborn is spending his time looking for a job. He has a court date on December 14th for that DWI.